Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eye Opener Society. Welcome back to our little group. Welcome back to our little church. Welcome back. That's the main key here. Wanted to give a shout out to our dear friends from Appalachian Rootworks. Rooted in Ruins, you can visit their website at appalachianrootworks.com. Don't forget, they are a full service metaphysical shop beyond all the wonderful things that they have in that wonderful shop. They offer a ton of services, and if they don't offer it, they will find someone who does. And if they don't have any products that you're looking for, chances are they're going to find that too. So visit them in Cynthiana, Kentucky, or visit them on their website, AppalachianRootworks.com. So, welcome back to the show. And these are one of those shows where we originally had a plan, but then our wonderful cosmic fairy princess hits me with something about what a wonderful day she had. And she changed the whole thing up, and I have no idea what it is. And that's what's so exciting. So, as we're learning what's going on in Lizzie's world, I'm going to be learning about it too right now. I have no pre introduction to that. So, Lizzie, take it away.
Okay, so I've talked on here a little bit about how I've been on this ride or die trip with the universe, right? Like just kind of having fun here. And I've also been playing with the frequency of money. And the thing is everything I find online about this topic, everything they say is you have to be stable before these systems that they do work for you because you have to be at that level of stability in order to be relaxed into this space where your nervous system can just be so blissful that you can attract all the things that you want. Well, in my ride or die trip with the universe, I just don't think it has to be like that. There's so many people, and especially in this phase of the world, everybody is kind of feeling like they're really, really struggling. And it's also the time where everybody's waking up, and that cannot be a coincidence. So I've just kind of gone with this theory and ride or die with the universe. Oh, I'm so excited. Gotta breathe. So, anyways, throughout the last couple of years, been up and down in different things, figuring it out, trial and error. But today I got like the perfect example because recently I've been switching a lot of things. Okay, so I've been behind in my bank account, if I'm being honest, since last November when I went out of town, out of state, and they locked my bank account, and it hasn't been fully fixed since then. And it's because I have two loans on there. And since the baby, I've not been super consistent. I'm always giving them money, but not as much and as consistently as they would like me to. But I give them what I can when I can. And when they call me, I talk to them and I make out new plans and I do the plan as best as I freaking can. And that's all that I can do. And I've just given this one to the universe. Sometimes they hack on fees. Okay, that's fine. Universe will give me money later. It's fine. Not even a problem. Like totally not accepting consequences because that tricks you into taking consequences, but you're accepting all outcomes will be good. Regardless, it doesn't matter. And so that's how I've treated my bank account since November. Well, now we're here in April, and I get a text message yesterday letting me know they're going to legal. Well, this is my car wrapped up. Are they going to repo my car? Like this was my big fear, right? And all my financial things. I was like, just leave me the car. But okay, so yesterday I kind of panicked a little bit. I figured, don't even worry about it. Whatever. Today I wake up, I feel like a cosmic fairy princess ready to take on the world, and a little thought in my head said, call your bank. So I did, and I let them know about the text message I got, but also let them know I was calling directly because there'd be scams about that, and I'm not going to fall for it. And they're like, thank you, don't do that. So I talked to the guy for a little bit. He was super, super sweet. And basically, he connected me to this other lady where they're taking both of my loans and putting it together in an interest-free 5-year plan of half the amount of money per month that I've been able to come up with, which is basically about how much I've been paying. So basically, I just lost all my interest. I'm now in a plan. Everything's fine. I had to do nothing, and the universe took care of it for me.
Lizzie, I I'm excited to hear this. And like I said, we had no pre-speaking about this. You know how well this ties in cosmically? I know I spoke to you just yesterday before we did all the recording about my little thing with fucking the scam of insurance, right?
Yeah.
This ties in. I could tell why you're excited because the same reason I was excited. You pick up that phone and you accept any consequence that's going to become of it, but you set the tone as to what kind of consequence you would like that works best for you.
Hmm.
I kind of did the same thing. I done it much more strongly, but I got not a 100% result, but a 90% result that's going to save me. And this happened to you now. And this is something I think is fantastic to let everybody know because, yes, these times, right now, as we are struggling, like I said, I have two cars. Both of them together are probably worth $900 at most. Why I have to pay for somebody who's not even driving my car? Yeah, I could go on and on with that. But that is the cosmic frequency. I had mentioned, I said, the whole reason I'm living in together with other people is because I can't afford to pay rent on my own. I can't even pay the damn insurance on the cars. Cosmically, it's setting something in motion. And even last night, just before I went to bed, and of course, I'm meditating, which I'm hoping everybody out there is doing. Please, meditation, 10 minutes a day, right before you go to bed. There you go. You can't have any excuse for this. I was sitting there, and just as I was starting to drift off, I sort of let my mind wander and it went into its meditative state. And I started to see something again, symbolicism. And it was weird. It was kind of like my chest, but it was kind of like, oh, the only way to describe it, it was like all these nylon tubes. And it was only like a torso that I was picturing. And somehow I knew it was mine. And it kept these here nylon webs just kept weaving together, kind of like making like a Kevlar freaking protection. And it kept doing it over and over again. And I just pictured it over and over again. I said, this is some sort of sign. But every time I pictured it, I could feel my blood pressure dropping and it's saying everything's going to be fine. It's my layer of protection. And I said I knew everything was going to work out and everything really is. And I said, damn it, this is what we need to do now. We need our voices heard. Picking up that phone and saying, I can't afford this. What are you doing? Who can afford this? And things are being done because you know why? I was thinking about that. I was saying yesterday in one of my little TikToks, I said, every corporation, they're like vacuums and they get these long suction things stuck right on your wallet. And that's all they do. We're just walking through life and they're siphoning out all the money from us. And then when we run out of money, they siphon the life out of us. So I said, all we got to do is disconnect the damn hoses and start speaking up against it. So this was good. This is really wild. I was not expecting this, but this really ties into everything, man. And I could just tell by the way you look, just like the way I am, we're both happy. It's a small victory, and it's a small victory for the entire collective, actually.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're all just really in a place where we're all kind of figuring our own thing out. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, everybody's got a protocol that worked for them. That's why they're successful. And then they get successful off of selling their protocol. Like, I really think everybody's just at a place where everybody just wants to learn how like everything works. You know what I mean? Just tell me how it works and I'll build my own pieces. So I think that that's just what we want to do. And I love your visualization, by the way. I think that that's so important to let it build itself and not define it. You know what I mean? Like just kind of let it, it came to you. It was protection, you know what I mean? And you allowed it to be that and you just allowed it to connect to whatever imagery your brain gave you about your body. And I just think that's so important. And we could have made a whole other episode about that one too.
Yeah, we can. But this happens more and more to me now, and I recognize these little patterns. The best part about that one last night is not so much the visually visualization, but it was the feeling that I was getting, this sudden feeling of confidence. And this confidence, it's flowing over into my job and everywhere else. And I've always been a confident person to begin with, but this is more so now. This is like, I'm ready to take on the world. You win these little victories and you start to feel you're like you're on top of the world. Like you just won the biggest fight of your life. And I could just tell by looking at you. I know you well enough. You're really excited and happy about this.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, okay. So you have to connect with the feelings that you want to bring out into the world, into your job, into relationships, into your hobbies and passions and stuff. You can't hold it like it has to be the only outcome and the only feeling that you feel, but you have to take a minute to connect to that, whether that's in sitting down and allowing that feeling to come up, or moving and allowing that feeling to come through. But whatever feeling that you're wanting to feel, exist in you, because otherwise you wouldn't know it existed and you wouldn't know you wanted it. So you already have it. But we're so hectic and worrying about all of these things. Like if I listed to you all the people who financially sometimes call me and want money from me, like that's a little bit crazy list. But the thing is per everybody else's rules, I shouldn't have been able to live like this long and be okay. There are no rules. In the universe, maybe using me as an example, as I feel like, but the point is like you don't have to have peace in order to do it, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Like you can just take 5, 10 minutes, like you said, before bed. If that's all the time you have, you're already laying there trying to go to sleep. Visualize your energy, connect with your body, visualize your stresses floating away in a bubble. Like whatever feels good to you is going to be the best thing. But you have to actually slow down and let everything do things.
And I, it's funny I'm going to say this because I think you learned a lot of that with your cosmic energy and your chaos. And what did I tell you? Simplify. Take a moment. Slow down. Because if you're going way too fast, those frequencies and vibrations are probably missing you. Once you slow down, they're finding it. You're kind of like an antenna. If you keep moving the antenna back and forth, you're not lining up with the signal. So once you stop and slow down for a second or two, load yourself up with that wonderful energy, and then take it and dance and move and sing and everything else. Um, what I would like to say to you on this, and this is to kind of just absorbing everything that's going on with you and how I've tied it into what happened to me. I just want the audience to know because it might not be everybody's time. And this isn't Lizzie and I throwing this at you and say, ha ha, we won. And, there's other people, out there suffering still with this when it comes to money and all. So for anybody that's out there listening, please take this as a very good lesson. Take your time. Understand this is a 3D made up world where the rules are created by us as human beings, right, wrong, or otherwise. So when you fall into these, especially financial collapses, and especially nowadays, and everything else seems to be so damn expensive, and it keeps becoming more and more of a struggle, I don't want you to think of it as a struggle. I want you to remember what Lizzie said, where you have to be open to all ideas and all consequences, and then you set that tone and know exactly what consequences you can handle, and then go ahead. And this is the most important thing, it's confidence and its strength. You cannot be weak anymore. Not in these days, not in these times. Stop being weak. This is one thing I think I wanted to talk about too at some point. The weakness, the universe is now going to say, okay, you want to be weak, you're going to be weak, and you're going to be knocked down all the time. So build up some strength, build up some courage, start making phone calls, start finding out what's available, what are the options, what can I do, what's going to work best for me. And you'll see how cosmically things start to fall in place. And Lizzie is a prime example. All right. I mean, I know her a little bit more, with the stuff that she tells me. Well, this is big news. This really is. And I was doing fine until this insurance thing came up. Same thing, but I was ready. I was ready to fight it. And I did. May have said some words I probably should not have used to another human being, but sometimes it helps. So I hope I'm expressing that correctly there, Lizzie.
I mean, you can't really express it incorrectly. It's just you, right? So beautiful, for one. For two, I feel like I could just talk on this topic all day long. So I'm gonna commit. I made notes this time today, and I'm gonna commit to writing up just a tiny little document and not even trying to write everything about this topic, just a little document. And I really want to put it up on our website. So if anybody's listening to this and they're intrigued because maybe they also are in a ride or die with the universe, or maybe they just feel like they know they're on the right track, but reality isn't quite catching up and none of the systems out there are working. I'm not claiming mine is, but maybe it might inspire a little different perspective for you.
I really like that. And speaking of our website is a little bit long because it's a Wix website, but I'm going to have it in the synopsis. Lizzie also sent me some of her teachings too, which again, I'm pretending Lizzie's not here. I'm not even going to look like I'm going to put my hand over her so I'm not seeing her. I'm going to tell you right now, even if I did not know who Lizzie was, her teachings, her writings, they're so incredible because one, they're very captivating. I will say that they're extremely captivating. So it gets you reading. So it's like a really good book and that you're really into the reading portion of it. But as you're reading this, you're inside of her mind and things start to come together with what she's putting on paper. This weekend, I'm going to work on getting, because it's a lot of documents, but I'm going to put it up there on the website and it's free. I think Lizzie should be charging like $100 a page for this. That's just my opinion. But she's giving it up for free. And I know this is over a course of many years and all. And I know from what Lizzie had told me, she changed her mind on a lot of stuff that was there and changed a lot of the writing. But I said, let it be. Just let this be because somebody may be in that position that you were in back then and are going to relate to it. So that's just one. And now she's going to offer, and she's got a pen in her hand, damn it, and she's taking the notes. She's going to write everything down. And that's another free thing that she's offering. And this is all the stuff that we're offering through the church. So it will be on the webpage. When you go to the synopsis, bookmark that page, visit it often because it is a work in progress, just like the church and just like Lizzie and I, we're all works in progress, every single one of us. So build with us, grow with us. All right. So we look forward to that, Lizzie. Definitely. And again, I meant every damn word I said about that.
Thank you. That was the most beautiful compliment. I really appreciate it. And I do kind of argue with some of the things I've written, but not in a way that they're wrong. I just like to come at things from a I've stopped calling your shadow wounds wounds because when you look at it and interact with it from the perspective that somebody like wounded you, right? So you were whole and now you're less than whole and you want to be whole again. But if you looked at it like it was a quirk in your personality, that gives you a dual perspective of both a positive and a negative, and it completely takes out the traumatic thing of it. And so it's not that I think that what is in there is wrong. It's all beautiful and it all worked for you. It's all the stuff that built me into the crazy chaos that like I think now, you know what I mean? But it just was like all the basics of all your basic skills, visualization, journaling, all of that. And it is beautiful for a very like from a shadow work perspective is all.
Yeah. And again, read through this stuff once I got it up on the website. It really is amazing. It helped me to understand things. So even if you're not looking to follow Lizzie's protocols and all that verbatim and all, you might just learn a few things like I did, and I could apply it to some of the teachings that I do. Mine are just very simple. I don't have that super skill of writing everything out like that. I'm more of a performer. I can tell you how to do things, and I do it very simply, but I learned a few things from reading Lizzie's documents. So this is a good segue into our church and some of the things that we are going to be teaching. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody just to go to that webpage and just check it out and check out whatever we put up there, especially in the blog sections, because it's just going to be little thoughts, ideas. We're all in this cosmic universe together. We might as well learn together.
Yeah, exactly. That was beautifully put.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I hope everything comes out, because we're going to start having to do Thursday sermons and everything. And these little things, they're personal. It's a personal win for you. I had a personal win yesterday, but these are things, again, everybody goes through. And not everybody gets those personal wins, and not everybody's going to be excited to hear somebody else's success. However, eventually you're going to have your own success, and you're going to want to share it too with everybody. And then when you share it, you're revealing another secret to life or a key to the universe that somebody else may need. So just remember that as Lizzie and I talk about these things, it's not just to celebrate personal wins, it's to let everybody know this is for the collective, each and every one of us.
And truly, if you start looking at wherever you are and whatever you're doing, whatever the outcome is, as you're already winning, and you're letting go of expectations of what that looks like, just trusting the fact that you're winning, you all of a sudden will start winning. Even like I promise you, just try it. It really does do something.
It does. And those of you who have listened to me, prior to Lizzie, and, you know, I would say even 6 months prior to Lizzie, I was in a whole nother space. Winning was the farthest thing on my mind. I was struggling. I was going through the cosmic mud. It just wasn't working out. But you take that cosmic mud from the playground and you bring it into the 3D world, and then you get muddy footprints all over the 3D world. And that's beautiful because you're bringing that cosmic universe down to your level. And then eventually everything begins to start working in your favor. But again, it takes a strong mind. You rise above it, you think positively, things start to change. The moment they start to change, you notice it. Once you start noticing those changes, those are victories. If they're really small, you could still celebrate them. Once they get bigger and bigger from there, and then, like I said, your energy now can transmute onto somebody else that really needs it as well. So congratulations, Lizzie. And there's nothing wrong with saying congratulations to people you don't even know. It's easy for me to say that to Lizzie, but if there was someone out there that I had no idea about and you said, hey, I had this win, I'm celebrating it. Congratulations to you. You deserve it. Everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves it now because guess what? As a collective, we all start figuring things out. That's when this whole 3D matrix becomes very scared of us. And that's what we want because they've been ruling us with fear for years and years and years since they figured out their whole plan. And it's a brilliant plan, but we're breaking it down. It's happening. I feel it. I'm pretty sure you feel it, Lizzie. Things are happening.
They are, and I'm just so excited. And I've really learned to just let the 3D world do its thing because I really am starting to get this idea that the slower the 3D world feels like it's operating, the faster everything else is going and moving and changing for you. And if you can just like let it all, then it just freaking works out. Like there's no like I don't know how else to explain it. I'm really convinced that all of our problems really are that we create them.
They are. Most of the time, we created those problems ourselves. Like I said, 3D world really is human beings, which is us, and the indoctrination and all. We created these rules. We're the ones that create them. So we should be the ones that break them. But you too, Lizzie, you're going through so many changes. We're going to save it for another show, but just to let everybody know on a personal, very personal level, how things change in somebody's life and they start moving forward. And again, beyond Lizzie's writing, Lizzie's Lizzie's thought process, Lizzie's visions of the world, people, and everything, I have to learn a lot from because throughout my life, I was always one focused one way. You know, we get it stuck in that trap because well, that's how we live. It's part of our personality, and that's how we got through day to day. But every now and then, we should take a moment and see things through somebody else's eyes, and we realize you really may have the secret to success, the secret to life, just by certain decisions. I'm going to keep it because I really think we're going to record that episode very, very soon because it's really important. I think people should actually learn about it. So, but Lizzie, it's again, just to summarize, you really, I could tell from just yesterday to today, a lot has changed with you, and it is. I'm celebrating this with you. That's a major, major win. It's not only a major win for you, it's a major win for a lot of people because you probably just let everybody out on a secret and what to do.
Yeah, I looked a little crazy yesterday. You're like, you okay, buddy? My hair's all like all over the place. I'm in a sports bra in the car. This transporting as my phone dies, and now I'm in the office. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But yeah, sometimes you have to allow yourself to just be a little crazy because when you do try to clamp down and decide how you're supposed to be and put together all the time, you deny yourself so many opportunities. You're literally asking for is just get a little crazy sometimes, you know. I look more put together today, only on one day apart. It'll be, they'll hear it 1 week apart, whatever. Podcast timing.
Right? Yes, and don't forget to, yeah, you're right. It's okay to look the mess that you are. Because when you're in that messy situation, it's a struggle. You're in a battle. You're in a boxing ring, and you're taking these hits, and you're gonna look like crap. Don't worry about it. These are things that are supposed to happen. We become so egotistical at times, and we're always worried, "Hey, I look like crap today. Let me." If that's how you're looking that day because you're in that moment, embrace it. You're supposed to. We're all supposed to. We're not always going to be happy. We're going to be angry. I was angry yesterday. I was very, very angry. But again, that anger transmuted and became something better. So, yeah, embrace those moments. I can't thank you enough for bringing this up, Lizzie. Again, this is really good stuff. I'm sure we're going to have a conversation after the show about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe we have to record that next episode because I still got time. So,
That's exactly. I was trying not to say anything with with the audience, but I think we're going to go and we're going to record the next show, and that too is going to be really powerful as well as personal. But again, when we share these things, it's to help everybody out. So we're going to get to it, and I want to thank you for joining in. I want to thank you, Lizzie, definitely for bringing that up and sharing that with everybody because that's great news and that's just fantastic. And I feel great and I feel motivated to go do like 10 more shows now. So why don't we get to it?
excellent.
All right. So thank you so very much for joining us. And really quick, I also wanted to mention Urban Lady Prepper. If you listen to my show, Urban Lady Prepper Lynn, she was on my show as a guest. I was on her show as a guest. If you're into prepping and if you're into, being ready, and we're not just talking about nuclear fallout or anything, things happen this day and age, just as Lizzie and I are talking about. Prepping is important, especially as a single female. That's what Lynn talks about, single females especially. However, anybody's free to listen to her show. She just wrote a book. I have a copy, my own personal copy. I thank her so
Oh.
much for it. So I started reading it. I'm going to be giving some reviews on it, but I want you to reach out to podcast platforms, Podbean, search for Urban Lady Prepper. I'll make sure I have a link for her book down in the synopsis as well. So thank you again for joining us, and we will see you really, really soon.